Hi, this video is on child support in Virginia. Virginia uses an income shares based analysis for child support. It looks at each party's income and specifically their gross income. Gross income is before taxes are taken out, before health insurance, retirement, all of that. It is what do you bring in, your gross salary, your gross by hour, whatever that may be. Now, often I get asked, well, what if a party isn't working? Can we impute income? And the answer is it depends, which is, I guess, a typical lawyer answer, but it does. Virginia provides for certain provisions in imputation of income if someone's in school, if one parent is a primary caretaker for a child under the age of 5 and not in school, and daycare is not reasonably available. It looks at medical diagnosis, it looks at disabilities, and it can also look at why you were either fired from a job, if you quit a job. It can look at all sorts of things when determining what your actual income is and what your imputed income could be or your earning capacity. Child support also takes into consideration who has custody of the child or children. There's a couple different guidelines. The two most common you're going to use is either a primary or a sole guideline, which means one party has primary custody of the child or children, or a shared guideline. And a shared guideline means one party has primary usually or a certain number of nights, and the other party has at least 90 overnights. Anything less than 90, you're not going to use the shared guideline. Now, why that's important, shared guidelines, 90 nights and over start to affect the percentages as far as who's responsible for what and their income levels and the total amount that has to be paid. So it's important if you're on a shared schedule to know the number of overnights that you have with your children. Child support also takes into consideration the health care costs that are derived or you have to pay for only for the child. It's not a family plan or anything like that. It's usually we look at what is the cost for yourself alone and what's the next step up you have to take in order to cover the child. So some companies do self plus one, some companies do self plus children, and some companies do self plus family. So it just depends on what your insurance is and what they provide. The other thing that child support takes into consideration is daycare cost. Of course, we know that those can be quite expensive. Around here in sort of Southwest Virginia, you're looking anywhere from $120 to $150 a week, sometimes more if there's camps in the summer. So all of that needs to be annualized so that we can look at what the monthly cost is that you're incurring on a whole over the total year. So that's kind of the basics of child support, what you have to consider and what goes into it. It is a guideline that we input certain numbers into and it spits it out. Yes, it can be deviated, it can go up or it can go down. Depending on the situation, it could go down if there's significant drive times, travels, other extraordinary issues that we need to take into account for. It can also go up if there's extraordinary medical expenses, such as if a child has cancer or special needs or things like that. So the court can also consider either deviating, that's what it's called, up or down when it comes to child support. Another thing we also get asked quite a bit is, well, how long do I have to pay this? It's usually until a child turns 18 and graduates high school. Now, there are provisions if a child has some special needs that require support past the age of 18 and graduation of high school, which we could certainly discuss that as well. But that is usually the stopping point for child support. You're not typically obligated to pay for college expenses or anything past that age. You can voluntarily, of course, agree to do that. And I would caution you to at least get some advice before signing up for that. So really that's child support in Virginia in a nutshell. Every case is different and there are no two that are alike. If you have questions about what support you should be paying or what you should be receiving, please feel free to reach out to us. I have extensive background in child support. I worked for the Division of Child Support Enforcement for 2 years and I still do some contract work for them, and I have completed quite a few child support cases in that time. So if you have any questions about your child support, please feel free to reach out to us at 276 477-1422. And as always, we look forward to seeing you.